Okay, now we're back. This next one, I'm going to try to speed it up here a little bit. Next one here is Disney's One Magic Christmas. We used to rent this one quite a bit throughout, whenever it was available. Of course, these were movies that the video store would only put out during Christmas, and it was a movie made by Disney. Reason why it's in this case, because I taped this off TV and then transferred it to DVD at the time. Yeah, I captured it on the Hallmark Channel. I captured it one time and just transferred it over. And this is another, good, like Prancer. It's a good Christmas movie. Kind of deals with real life. I think this one applies to what's going on in the world today. In hardship, hard times, and things like that. Next one, Oliver and Company. Now, the reason why this one's in here is because I remember seeing this when I was about 4 years old in a movie theater, and it was one of the first movies I'd ever seen in a movie theater. Sad thing is, it did not come out on home video until 1998. That's what stinks about it. But I remember, growing up and, just looking back on it, there was all this other stuff that Disney released with it. I remember going to the library and checking out one particular cassette tape of the movie. It had the songs from the movie, had the voices and everything, but there was no way to watch the movie until 1998, when Walt Disney, for some reason, decided to bring it out, I believe for its 10th anniversary, and there it got a home video transfer. Don't ask me why it didn't come out right away, or whenever VHSs should. I think there was something going on at the time, but it was just crazy. Why didn't this? It was a very successful movie at the time, but yet it doesn't come out until the 90s. Go figure. Next one, I almost grabbed another one off the shelf or at my pile. Next one, Old Yeller. I remember watching this, whenever as long as I could watch a movie. Old Yeller is one of my dad's favorites too. Of course, we all know what happens. I'm not spoiling anything. That's a decent set too. It has that and its sequel all in one package. The sequel was called Savage Sam, The Adventures of Savage Sam. Next one does the same thing, except I wished this was in widescreen, and I wished it was, if I can get it open, 2 discs. It is a flipper, and I have hit or miss reactions to the flipper discs. But the really stinker about this movie is it's not in widescreen, or both of these movies, by the fact it's the Never-Ending Story movies, both 1 and 2. I remember renting both of these quite often. Mostly this one, Never-Ending Story 2. But as time will tell, the first one's the best one. And I found out they're remaking this, and I don't know whether to support that or just say forget you on that, because again, these movies did not have any CGI. All the effects were done by miniature models and optical effects, which means they took one piece of film, put it on top of another piece of film, combined them together very artistically and very carefully. And there's even some animation and hand-drawn animation. It blends seamlessly. why do we need a CGI remake over? Or do-over, I should say. But apparently, Leonardo DiCaprio is the one in charge of that one. Next movie I saw at I think I was 12, and it's Mr. Holland's Opus because of my love of music at the time. And Richard Dreyfuss does a superb performance in this movie. I just wish it got a little bit better treatment. They have not released any special edition to this movie. It is a stand-up movie. It's long, but it is excellent. Next movie, I was about 10 when this came out, and we wore this movie out when it came out on tape, and we did own this one, but I finally got it on DVD for $5 at Walmart, and it's The Little Rascals. Hilarious movie at the time. We really enjoyed this as kids, and it still holds up. It's a typical 90s movie. It fell into the trap of, at the time, there was a lot of TV shows getting movie re-envisions, and of course, this was the Our Gang. And interestingly, the director of this film was the director of two TV to film adaptations. Penelope Spears, who did the Beverly Hillbillies and Wayne's World. So, apparently they thought she could do a good job at it. Next one, The Lion King, which I found out is coming out on Blu-ray here pretty soon. I don't know if I'll upgrade that or not. Probably not. But even still, it's the Platinum Edition, and even the Platinum Edition is superb. There's a whole lot of behind-the-scenes featurettes on this. It is just loaded. Matter of fact, if you hold this thing, feel how heavy it is. It's loaded with stuff. Next movie is I don't know why I was allowed to watch this, but I remember watching it later on, when I was older, and I could understand it better. But it's Ron Howard's Cocoon. I remember watching this. We used to not rent this one often, but this definitely was a rental when it first came out, and it was on TV quite a bit. And of course, it's got an all-star cast in it: Brian Dennehy, Donna Michi, Jessica Tandy, Hume Cronin, Wilford Brimley, a whole bunch of people in it. And it's kind of Ron Howard's. It's like a combination of E.T., The Andy Griffith Show, and Star Wars, maybe. No, it's more of a combination of E.T. and the Andy Griffith Show. Kind of a strange combination. And somehow it works. The next three we'll do here real quickly is, of course, the Karate Kid movies, parts 1, 2, and 3. I don't have the fourth one. I heard it stunk. That's why it's not in here. And, of course, I refuse to get the new one, because you don't remake something that still holds up and is still good. Shame on you, Will Smith. You don't do that. Of course, I'm saying that to all of Hollywood. You shouldn't remake anything if it still holds up. Grab the next ones here. I just grabbed the first Jurassic Park because I remember seeing this at probably the last movie I saw, before teenager. It was when I first saw this. I was 12, and it had been out for a couple years. And just enjoyable and, just a fun ride. And of course, the next one is a Jurassic Park copycat. Not a copycat, but a spin-off. Or, not spin-off, but inspired by movie Jumanji with Robin Williams, because of the ability to use CGI to create animals and things like that. Was darn near impossible before Jurassic Park, and they had been wanting to do a movie adaptation of Jumanji for a long time, but it didn't come until after Jurassic Park, because they realized that they can pull off the technology to do so. Next one of the greatest sports movies ever made, and proud to be a part of the state that this was shot and actually took place in. Hoosiers. Basketball. And based on a true story, of course, the names and things like that have been changed. It is just a very good movie to watch, very inspiring. The interesting thing is that you actually, with this DVD, is if you can find this version, it has a lot of stuff on here, especially about Indiana basketball. And there's about 30 minutes of deleted scenes. And plus, here's the interesting thing. You have the real Milan versus Muncie 1954 Indiana High School Championship basketball game. I believe it was Muncie Central. You have the actual game. Of course, in the movie, that team of Milan is known as Hickory, but was changed for various reasons. Next one, Christmas comedy Jingle All The Way. Saw this in 1996 in the theater. And of course we laughed our heads off at it, but it's I don't think it holds up as well as what Home Alone and things like that. But this was kind of in the same vein as Home Alone. Matter of fact, this is one of the last ones that were made with that style of comedy. But, of course, the story is about Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to find the world's popular, the hottest selling Christmas toy ever, and he picks the worst day to go find this thing, which is Christmas Eve. Of course, he never finds it, but some other things do occur. It doesn't hold up. Like I said, it doesn't hold up as well today as well as what people thought it would. Next movie. Yes, I'm ashamed to say I do have what's called one of the worst movies ever made by some people. Howard the Duck. Enough said. No comment, please. I remember watching this as a kid and just really enjoying this. Of course, a kid, you're kind of I don't know, maybe I was amused by anything. But this is a fun movie to watch for at the time. Who cares if it got bad reviews? Who cares if George Lucas disowns this? I'm still claiming Howard the Duck. Well, looks like I'm going to have to take another break here, so I'll be back with the next one.